Back to my YouTube channel Mukesh Tech. So in today's video lecture we will learn about the functions in Python. Alright. So we will go through the concepts of the functions in Python. What are the functions, how we can define a function, and how we can use it. So first let's go through the definition of a function. So functions are an essential part of Python programming as they allow developer to write reusable code that can be used in multiple places throughout the program. In Python, a function is named block of code that performs a specific task. So this is the definition about a function in Python. But here if I will go and see the definition without any practical exposure, still I feel confused, right? So definition says a function is a block of code that performs a specific task. All right. So without doing practical, I don't understand what is a function, right? So this is the main objective and motive of this video lecture, to make you understand what is a function during the practical session here, right? Okay, then let's code it and we will see how we can define a function, what is the definition of a function, how does a function returns, and what other print statements we can put inside a function. All right. So here for defining a function, first of all we have to use this def keyword, and with def we have to use the function name, right? So this is the function name. So instead of writing the function name, let me write some meaningful function name, let's say greet, right? And after that we have to use parenthesis, open and closing parenthesis, and the colon, space. You can see this is the indentation. So Python basically based on the indentation, and we have to follow the rule of indentation, right? So now we are inside the body of the greet, right? So here we can write print and let's say hello Mukesh Tech Hub, right? Let me save this one. So this is the function. So here function name is the greet and it returns nothing, right? Because we don't have any return statement here. So it's simply printing hello Mukesh, right? So this function name greet, and when it is called it will print the message hello Mukesh Tech Hub, right? So if I want to call this function, what we have to do, just greet and open and closing parenthesis, right? If I will call this function, let me see where is this user desktop functions, right? So let me say Python and functions. I think no such file or directory. Okay, so let me check where this file got saved. What is the location of this file? Okay, let me see pwd functions. Let me do a ls functions.key. So I think this file saved somewhere else. So let me save this file, save as functions.py, and let me select a location somewhere inside this functions folder and save it. Now let me rerun this one, and it says hello Mukesh Tech Hub. So whatever we have provided inside the print statement, it simply printed that one. And for calling this function, we just use this greet one. Functions can also take parameters which are values that are passed into the function and used in its code. So what does this mean? Let me define a function same as greet, right? Open closing parenthesis, and here just take a argument, let's say name, right? So this is the basically parameter which we are passing inside this greet function, right? Let me use the print statement and say my name is, and here I can say plus name, right? What we have to do when we are calling this function, right, this greet function, we have to pass it. It says the suggestion we have to pass one parameter, that is name. So name is, let's say, Mukesh, right? Let me rerun this file Python code. So it says my name is Mukesh. We can pass the parameters inside the function body, right? This parenthesis. Now what we have to do, let's say there is a one different function, def add two numbers, and it taking two parameters, or I can say two arguments, a and b, and from here I'm just returning a plus b. So this function is doing nothing, simply adding the two numbers and returning that one, right? So when I will call this function add two numbers, I have to pass two argument, 5 and 6. Let's say I'm giving the two values 5 and 6, and after calling this one I'm just storing the output of this function inside a variable, right? And again I'm printing this out. Now let me rerun this one. So it says 11, right? So instead of giving the parameters or the arguments inside this function or hard coding it, we are passing it from when we are calling this function, right? So functions can also have default parameter values which are used when a parameter is not passed into the function. So what does that mean? Let's say a equals to 5, right? And I will just use print the number is and say a, right? Now I'm just calling the function without any parameters, right? Now let me execute this one, and it said the number is 5. So this is the default value, a equals to 5. Here already I have defined inside the function a equals to 5, right? A function can have a nested function also, right? Problem statement is function can have inner function also, right? What does that mean? Let me say def, this is the main function, right? And it's printing hi, I am main function, right? This is the main function. Inside this function, let me define inner func, right? Inside that, let me say print hi, I am inner function. All right. From here, what I will do? Let me call this inner function, inner func, right? Let me execute this program again. So it says nothing. So in this example, we have defined an outer function, that is the main function, that contains an inner function. When the outer function is called, it will print a message and then call the inner function, which will print another message, right? So let me do one thing. Let me call the main function, right? Let me clear the window and execute it. Hi, I am a main function, right? So it says I am a main function. So this is the simple way of defining a function, right? Defining a function, giving the parameters and returning from the function. So here it says I am the main function. So we don't have the calling for the inner function. If I will make it enable, or I will delete the comment portion from here, we will see the output hi I am main function and hi I am inner function, right? So this is all about the function. We will see the few more scenarios in the next lecture. Thank you so much.